she will go through the giant mobile site speed benchmark, and then we'll be followed by some questions and then a break. So thank you very much, Nichola Stott. Bye.
Thank you for staying. Even more data. Thanks to the guys. We've already seen some log file data analysis and some structured data. And now we're going to talk about even more data, but there's pictures of doggos and puppas, so hopefully that'll make it a bit better. So, this is every time I say this in my head, this is a story. I can't help but go through the Fresh Prince thing. This is a story all about how, anyway, it's a story about how we are obsessed at Erudite with mobile site speed, but also having all of the data in order to put it into context. If you're playing conference bingo, this slide is like, this is a down in one, you know, start with a pompous quote. I'm not responsible for how drunk you might get. But why? Why are we obsessed with this? Well, there's a number of different reasons. But of course, we know that our punters hate slow websites. I don't know if anybody's seen this particular research study, but this is really cool. So they took a big group of people and put them into loads of different stressful situations, like being in a queue. That's not stressful if you're British, right? That's just like, that's a fun day out. Experiencing mobile delays was the second worst thing you could do in terms of a stressful situation. So, I don't know what that says about like humanity, but there you go. So people hate slow sites, we need fast sites, right? We also know, particularly if you're working in like e-commerce, that the faster a site is, the more sales we're going to get. Like, that's also pretty logical, right? Yeah. Funnily enough, there's little kind of really good case study material on this out there. This is one of the most recent and best I could find. That's a hell of a lot of money, like a 2% increase in conversion rate for Walmart. That's like literally billions, right? If anybody's got any more recent ones to publish, we've got some coming up soon, but there's not that much out there, but you know, let's just accept it as a fact. And we also believe that the faster a site, that there might be some positive impacts to rankings. Google keep going on about this, and it's only going to get more important, right? So, but these are beliefs to a certain extent, yeah? We can only prove stuff with our own data, which is why we wanted to kind of look at perspective on the data, because it's a competition, right? So whilst, yeah, we need to audit our own sites, and we need to look quite introspectively at what we're doing, to put that into context, we need to know what everybody else is doing as well, which led us to this investigation, which we're going to talk about today. All of the data that we produced here, or analysed here rather, is completely available free of charge on our website. You don't have to fill in any forms or anything like that, you can get all of it. So what we'll do is we'll talk about how we did it, so you'll understand like where we got the data from, how valid it is. We're going to make stuff up. What we learned from that data, but most importantly, how you might be able to use that either in your own business, your own agency, to make your site faster. Okay. Now, it started last year. We were, as an R&D project, we made our own website, Progressive Web App. And if you're not familiar with Progressive Web Apps, it's a set of features, a feature list of like 11 things that you can do to make your website have all the characteristics of an app. So if you've got an Android phone, you can play along at home right now. But essentially, if you go to erudite.agency, you'll be asked to add the site to your home screen. So it behaves just like an app. And then from there, we can send people push notifications. It works offline. So using a service worker, we can handle like offline content and stuff like that. So that was part of our R&D program, like October, November last year. These are the kind of criteria that you need to fulfill, or the more interesting of the 11 criteria, let's say. So first, within your app manifest, you've got to declare all of your metadata, which describes the app, the properties, the name of it, your little home screen icon, all that stuff. Then you've got your service worker registration. The service worker is technically a man in the middle, hence why it needs to work on HTTPS. What that does is it handles the offline comms, the push, that sort of stuff. You've got to satisfy some speed criteria, the most fundamental of which is a sub 10-second TTFI, time to fully interactive. And you've also got to use HTTPS. So as a result of that, we thought, okay, that was cool, that was fun. Surely everyone must be doing this, because it was hella easy as well. So we thought we'd like audit like the top 1,000 UK websites to find out who else was doing this and how many other progressive websites, progressive web apps were out there. So we audited using Lighthouse. Everybody familiar with Lighthouse?
Yes.
Yay, awesome, cool. So we used Lighthouse. We picked just like 5 criteria rather than like all of the stuff, because otherwise we'd still be doing this work. The stuff like, so HTTPS, is it? Yes or no? Service worker, does it register one? Yes or no? Speed, is it sub 10 second TTFI, blah, 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 etc., etc. Of those 5, really, like 3 of them were sort of best practice anyway, or, you know, HTTPS best practice or not, but kind of like you just got to. The ones that are really, really PWA specific is the home screen and the service worker registration. Okay, cool. We did this all manually using Lighthouse between like the whole team erudite, like 100 each or whatever, and it took a while, took a couple of days to like just get through them and stuff. And this is what 1,000 websites look like, right? Well, that and that, yeah. Some of your sites might be in there. I know from some of the faces I can see that some of your sites are in there. And then I found out that you can use the Node CLI, the command line interface, to like automate it. After, obviously, like after we'd spent all this time. A friend of mine, Felix Schultz, anybody know Michael Solinsky, some of you will know him, has managed to automate this using a Raspberry Pi, and he's going to be publishing about this soon. So if you follow Mike or follow me, and I will tweet about it. He sent it to me. We're just like working on testing it for him basically to see if it works for him over here. But I think that's going to be like hella cool. But it was worth it, right? Because we discovered so much, didn't we? No, we didn't, because like, it literally wasn't worth it at all. There are no progressive web apps in the UK. Yeah, fail. But it was a fun day out. It got worse. No, it kind of didn't get worse. It got more interesting because after this, we produced the study, and then a little Twitter bird, let's call him John Mueller for the sake of argument, said, "Oh, that's great. Did you know HTTP Archives got all this data anyway? Like, literally all of the data that we just spent all this time doing and producing in this study." So part of me is like, oh, my life. But, hooray! We have now got like over 5,000 websites with 7 distinct performance criteria. That's like, what's that? 35,000 data points? 93,000? A lot of data, right? We can do so much with that. Exciting times. So a little note on the data and HTTP Archive. If you don't use HTTP Archive now, if you're not currently like querying it or looking at the information, they are killing it at the moment. So the guys like Ilya Gregorek, Rick Viscomi, all the guys that are looking after HTTP Archive, Pat Meenan, are pulling in all sorts of different data sources. There is so much useful stuff you can find out about this. 3 days ago, according to HTTP Archive, Angular overtook React as the JavaScript framework of choice. We know this because of HTTP Archive. You'll know the fun that's going to happen next if you hear this morning from Bartosz's talk. But there you go. So anyway, the source comes from 500,000 URLs from Alexa. Alexa, whatever, it might not be the best source, but at that kind of scale, it's pretty valid. The speed and performance data comes from Web Page Test by Pat Meenan. Now, this is a pretty old, like it's been around for what, 8 years or something, so it's ancient. Pat Meenan is very much a dev performance type person, so I'll show you why this matters in a minute. But what Web Page Test does is it gets all its mobile speed and performance data from Lighthouse. So all of that Lighthouse stuff is pulled into Web Page Test, which is auditing the 500,000 Alexa URLs, which then, because Ilya Gregorek made it work, you can pull it out using Google BigQuery. Kicks ass. Now, about Web Page Test. So it looks like ugly as sin, and it's very much a kind of dev-facing sort of presentation, and the metrics are very dev-oriented. It's all about server performance and all of these kind of things as well. Now, Lighthouse isn't like that. Lighthouse is kind of representative of kind of sea change, if you like, in terms of where performance optimization lies. The performance optimization has always lived with the developer, if you like, but now it's kind of coming out and living in this place in the middle between the marketer, the SEO, and the CRO person, if you like, and the developer. So it's sitting in the middle, and I think it's very much kind of its own discipline in its own right now. So what this means is Lighthouse kind of looks different. It speaks differently. It's something you can actually give to a client and they're not going to cry, you know? In terms of thinking about this mindset shift and seeing some really funky stuff that you can do with Lighthouse, I'd recommend checking out the video that's linked to there, which is from it's from FluidConf last year. It's pretty cool. There's some pretty interesting stuff in there. And also, it's very much user-facing, and what I mean by that is the metrics actually matter in terms of what our customers might want to do. And you'll notice, I just moved over there, but you'll notice like the metrics here, so first contentful paint doesn't have an equivalent label in web page test. I'll show you what the equivalents are in a second, but you notice something missing from that. TTFB, like there's not reporting even on all these TTFB, TLS round trip, all that stuff, because it doesn't matter. It's only a means to an end. Okay. So this is a Lighthouse standard mobile runtime config. You can adapt it in web page test, but this is the kind of simulation that we're working with anyway when we ran all the data. The first thing we did was we took this list of like 5,000 odd UK URLs. We didn't do the whole top Alexa 500,000 because we were only interested in the UK. 5,000 odd were from the UK. We cleaned it a little bit. There's a couple of counterfeit sites, you know, a couple of really weird anomalous outliers in there, which we just manually removed. So we went from 5239 to like 5,100 or something like that. We then classified them all to make it more meaningful, because obviously if we're just talking about 5,000 sites as a kind of barometer, it's not that funky. So we split it up into these different categories to make it a little bit more useful and meaningful. So this is what it looked like in terms of numbers. Some categories are obviously bigger than others. The bigger the category, the more statistically robust the data, as always. We'll dive into the retail category in a little bit more detail. So I think probably most people will be represented by that. So let's have a look at what we learned. We did learn some stuff this time, didn't we? So, now, when we did the data, it was November 2017, like so long ago, and TTFB actually was in Lighthouse at the time, so just to talk you through that. So the first metric we looked at, this is across all of the categories, we found that, so other and news and media, other was like literally just a ridiculousness, like, you know, buy popcorn maker online sort of stuff, that just isn't represented in a strong enough concentration to put them into separate categories. So let's just forget all about it. So news and media had the fastest TTFB, below 2 seconds, and quite a few did, which is, you know, nice but meaningless. However, right at the other end of the scale, visual complete, CI, consistently interactive, kind of, yeah, it works. It completely flipped on its head, and actually the slower sites were the news and media and the retail, so the ones with like all of the ad tracking, basically. No massive surprise there. No massive surprise at all. So, you know, the bigger the sites, the more popular they are, the worse they perform. But, you know, we didn't really need a data benchmark to tell us that, did we? So let's go into the retail channel. Just a word about the metrics. So I mentioned, like, web page test is kind of an older tool. It's built by someone who's coming from very much a developer mindset rather than a marketer mindset. So render start is first contentful paint, FCP. So basically the time at which there's enough stuff on my mobile viewport to convince me to stick around a little bit longer, that's FCP. FMP is more meaningful, so yeah, almost a page there. And CI, consistently interactive, like it pretty much works, might not be all there, but as far as the end user is concerned, it's pretty much there. The other stuff, so TTFB is now gone in version 3.0 of Lighthouse, I'm sure you've seen that. Those metrics, there's the equivalents, TTFI or CI, depending on which version of Lighthouse you might have used. They keep changing the name. And fully loaded, that's no change, it's fully loaded, right? Cool. Let's look at the data then. So what we did is instead of using averages, because averages can totally be skewed by like a weird anomalous outlier at the end, like the slowest site going. So what we did is we looked at the median top and bottom quartiles to get an idea of what's good, what's bad, and what's ugly. Won't start. So FCP, first contentful paint. The reason why this is a useful metric is because this is the persuasion factor, if you like. So TTFB doesn't matter at all, no one cares. But the first time we get a few actual bits of colour on the screen, that's the thing that might persuade a user to actually sit there and persevere. So what we found was in the median, most of them were just under 3 seconds. If you've heard that stat by double click, like the average page takes 19 seconds to load on a mobile phone on a 3G connection. After 3 seconds, 53% of users have gone. Like, it's been in every presentation ever. So few, like half of the top 1,000 retail sites just about past that particular metric. However, when it comes to meaningful paint, so most of the page having some colour on there, this is where things start to come undone. So just under 4 seconds there is the median point. The bottom quartile almost double that. But when it comes to consistently interactive, so yeah, okay, we can see stuff, but can the user actually do anything with it? It's taken nearly 10 seconds. This is like the top 1,000 retail websites. This is Next. This is, you know, all of these really big brands. Obviously, the bigger the brand, the worse it can get. And these are the kind of times that they're putting out in order to actually be usable. It's not a great experience. And, you know, fine, fully loaded. When it comes to fully loaded, there's bits at the end that doesn't matter so much, which is why I think it's probably best to look at consistently interactive. Fully loaded can, you know, be an ad tracking script right at the bottom, or it can be a cookie drop on exit, which no one cares about, apart from the people getting the data from the cookie drop. But anyway, so pretty poor. The bottom quartile, this is like 250 websites taking 16 seconds to load fully on a 3G connection. That's like 90s. Or Australia. It was in Australia last week, is that right? Anyway. So, and as I mentioned right at the beginning, if we're looking for data and, you know, we're looking for comparison because it's a competition, so are we doing better than everybody else? If you want a single shot metric, then the speed index or perceived speed index is, you know, a single shot metric that you can look at. So for the whole of the 1,200 odd retail websites that we looked at, the median speed index was 4862. Means nothing unless you can compare it to your own website and understand, do we do better, do we do worse, what about our 3 competitors, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Finally, I speak really fast. Cool. So that's what we did, what we learned from it, but finally, like, why is this useful? Well, first off, we can set goals that are smart. We can actually put sort of a start and end on our projects, which is really, really nice. So, for example, you know, we can ensure that our 3G consistently interactive is below 7 seconds when audited by Lighthouse. We all know what a smart goal is. But that's something nice and something tangible that people that are higher up might be sort of saying, what are your goals? Why are they your goals? More importantly. Also, we can get budget and talent. So if I'm like really straining at the seams, saying, you know, I've got 3 SEOs and my site is taking 20 seconds to load and we're dying out here, I can show somebody a business case by looking at this, like you've seen the impact calculator tool that Google released. It's really, well, who cares how accurate it is? It's scary, you know, if you just show it to somebody. This is how much money we could be getting. We're losing out on tens of thousands of dollars here because we're so slow. Just show that to somebody and then you'll get the budget for the extra hire. But also it gives us evidence of where we are, or even if we're doing a great job, or if we need to do much more. We've got all this data now that we can compare ourselves to. So finally, if I'm going to sum it up in terms of like how to use this data and why it's useful, there's so much we could be doing, like literally, absolutely loads of stuff, isn't there? Like, you know, image optimization, we could be doing server migration to H2, we could be sorting out JavaScript, whatever it is. If we want to really pick a project and prioritize it and understand how long we need to work on that before we need to go and sort out our href land, or, you know, because we can flog that horse forever, but how long is it going to keep giving an ROI in terms of how we handle our resource and prioritization? So really it's about how understanding how fast is fast, and also getting into that dev queue, pushing stuff out of the way if we've got a stronger case. This is your case material. So there you go. Thank you very much.